The battle between growth and control is as old as the soil itself. Beneath the quiet surface of every thriving field, a silent war is waged, one that farmers know too well. Bindweed, with its creeping tendrils and relentless hunger, rises each year like an uninvited guest to the feast of life. And yet, across the same beds of earth, the promise of renewal stands tall, cover crops, the green soldiers of regeneration, rising to restore balance where chaos reigns. Farming has never been just about planting seeds. It's about shaping resilience. And today, in this unfolding chapter of ecological farming, the question isn't simply how to grow more, it's how to grow smarter, how to work with nature rather than against it. Because in the world of regenerative agriculture, even an enemy like bindweed has lessons to teach. Bindweed isn't just a weed. Its persistence made visible, a living metaphor for survival under pressure. It burrows deep, twines tighter, and thrives in adversity. Its roots plunge into the earth, gripping hard like memories that refuse to fade. You can pull it, cut it, or curse it, but it comes back, defiant and alive. And in that stubbornness lies a truth every grower must face: the land remembers everything. Across the windswept fields of Wyoming, farmers battle this tenacious plant each season. Plastic tarps have long been their armor, smothering sunlight, starving the bindweed of breath. But there's a growing discomfort in the farming world about covering life with plastic, about solving one problem by creating another. The question echoes through every regenerative farmer's mind: can we fight nature's chaos without suffocating it? That's where cover crops enter the story, the quiet heroes of living soil. Sudan grass, sorghum, winter wheat, not just plants, but protectors. They rise thick and tall, casting deep shadows that starve bindweed of its hunger for light. These cover crops aren't just competing for nutrients, they're rewriting the story of the soil. Beneath them, microorganisms dance. The roots speak in silent codes of carbon and nitrogen, healing what years of tillage and exposure have broken. Shade, researchers say, is one of the few natural weapons that weakens bindweed's iron grip. And so the strategy shifts, from attack to balance, from domination to partnership. The Sudan grass becomes more than a crop, it's a living shield. Every blade a defiance against degradation. Every root, a quiet act of restoration. But there are no quick victories here. In the world beneath the plow, time is both the weapon and the healer. Tarping for a year might suffocate bindweed, but the winds of places like Wyoming make such methods fragile. The earth there is restless, the air wild, and no amount of weight keeps plastic pinned to soil that refuses to be tamed. Even parked trucks, farmers say, can't hold back the gusts that roll tarps into tangled knots. So the new generation of farmers, the soil stewards, the ecological thinkers, are turning their gaze toward systems that thrive with the wind, not against it. Perennial pathways, deep-rooted grasses, diverse cover crops. The tools of regeneration are evolving. Still, even with cover crops, bindweed remains. Not defeated, but diminished, its presence now a whisper instead of a roar. And maybe that's the secret hidden in this struggle, that farming isn't about erasing the wild, but about learning to live within its rhythm. When the conversation turns to figs, those ancient, sun-loving trees that once shaded the courtyards of Mediterranean homes, a different kind of balance enters the scene. Figs are survivors of heat and hardship. Their thick leaves breathe in summer's fire, while their roots sip deep from the cool silence beneath. But even they, in places like Kentucky, demand shelter, and so farmers bring them into tunnels, where the microclimate can cradle their sweetness. But figs, though generous, don't like to share. Their wide leaves steal the light, their roots thirstily claim the soil. Interplanting with them isn't easy, it's an art of negotiation. A dance between shade and sun, between profit and patience. Inside those tunnels, farmers experiment, weaving together crops that can coexist with these ancient trees. Lettuce, kale, arugula, clover, low-growing companions that thrive under fig canopies. It's not a race for dominance but a dialogue between species. The figs offer shade, the greens offer cover. One feeds the soil, the other feeds the farmer. The economics of it are as delicate as the ecology. A small tunnel filled only with figs might not pay for itself. But add the soft green carpet of winter lettuce or the gentle hum of chamomile flowers beneath, and suddenly, life multiplies in purpose. Some even dream of growing mushrooms in the shaded spaces, oyster or shiitake, using the fig's own cool microclimate as an incubator of quiet abundance. These are not just experiments in agriculture, they're experiments in relationship. Each interplant, each cover crop, each root that twists through the soil is part of a larger conversation, one that asks us to redefine what success looks like in farming. Because ecological farming isn't just a method. It's a philosophy. It tells us that what we grow above the ground is only as strong as what thrives below it. But that the health of our crops mirrors the health of our soil, and the health of our soil mirrors the health of our choices. Bindweed and figs may seem like two separate stories, one about invasion, the other about cultivation, but they're chapters in the same book. One reminds us that control is an illusion. The other reminds us that growth is a partnership. Between them lies the truth, that farming is not conquest, but cooperation. As the sun sets over fields of cover crops, the landscape glows in gold and green. The wind moves softly through the Sudan grass, carrying with it the scent of renewal. Beneath the surface, bindweed still lives, persistent, patient, waiting. But so does life, in all its diversity and resilience. The two will always coexist, locked in a dance older than any farmer's hands. And maybe that's not a battle to be won, but a rhythm to be understood. In the end, ecological farming teaches humility. The land doesn't need us to dominate it, it needs us to listen. To observe the wisdom in weeds, to learn from the way roots share the earth, to see how life finds balance even in conflict. Every cover crop planted, every fig tree nurtured, every pathway left alive, all of it points toward a future where soil isn't just dirt, but a living, breathing system of connection. And perhaps that's what real farming has always been, not the act of growing food, but the act of growing understanding. As the final rays of sunlight fade across the fields, a quiet realization settles over the landscape: nature doesn't take sides. It doesn't label one plant good and another bad. It simply seeks balance, always and endlessly. And in that endlessness lies the greatest lesson a farmer can learn, that to nurture the earth is to become a part of its story, not the author of it. So, the next time bindweed curls around a stalk of wheat or a fig leaf casts its shadow over young greens, remember, this is not a war. It's a conversation. A reminder that in every tangle of roots and every shade of leaf, life is not just surviving, it's teaching us how to belong.